Hello and welcome to today's episode of MANOVAAC. We have some more interesting questions to ask Guruji Naushir. Pranam Guruji. Guruji, are spirit guides real, or is it our deeper intelligence or intention that helps us in reality?
Yes, I know many people doubt whether we have spirit guides or not. But no, let me assure you, they are real. The spirit guides are real, and basically they are ordinary souls who cross over from the physical to the astral, or they may be permanent astral residents, so to say. They are assigned a certain job, because like how we do work over here, there is work in the spirit world also. So these guides is one role that astral beings play. Now it is said that every human being has two guides assigned.
Okay.
They can keep changing. There's no restriction on that. You don't need to know also. You don't need to know who your guides are. You don't need to know when they change. But they perform a very important functional role in the life of a human being. It's kind of a subtle assistance that is given to every human being to live their lives better.
Okay.
A lot of times we don't directly, we don't know their guides, we don't take their help. But if we do, we can maybe suffer much less irritational problems than we do today.
Okay.
They may not change, in fact, they do not change your destiny. They don't
Okay.
interfere in your life. They try sometimes to influence your decisions.
Okay.
Because if you're making the wrong choices, they could try to influence you to make better decisions.
Okay.
But by and large, they are a little bit of a protective force, but without directly interfering in your karma or your workout. So it doesn't mean that if you have guides, you've got a free ticket to do anything and there's going to be no suffering in your life. No, that is not possible.
Right.
That is not possible under any circumstances.
Right.
But they do try to, see, as the name suggests, they try to guide you. Now, you may take their guidance and you may not take their guidance.
Right. It's a choice.
It's a choice, and it's a choice, and whether you are perceptive to their guidance, receptive to their guidance, it depends on that. But you are still given guides.
So that's given by divinity too.
That's given by divinity. That's part of the whole scheme of existence. So you can, but to say that it is deeper intelligence, no, it is not only deeper intelligence. There are these spirits who take on this kind of a role, or you can say a job. They're not paid for it, but they do it out of love. But it's a role they play. It's a part of the spirit work in the spirit world.
Like they serve divinity.
They serve
in
divinity
this way.
through this role of being guides for human beings. So say there are 7 billion human beings, there'll be 14 billion guides approximately. Each person is assigned at least 2 guides.
So we get a lot of assistance from
You get a lot of
divinity.
assistance, and there is a lot of potential for assistance, provided you know how to make use of it and benefit from it. So even without your knowledge, they try to help you, and in many ways they do help you without you ever knowing that they are there or how they've helped. But if you know about them, and if you can sort of liaise with them in a certain way, mentally, obviously it's mental, you can take a lot of benefit from
Like if you want to choose, if I want to...
You want to choose, you want to make a
whether
decision.
I take this decision or that.
Especially if you want to make a decision and you don't know what to do, you can tell your guys, please give me indications, help me to choose, or even day-to-day things, small things, like not something very major, big, because
like
they
to
cannot.
misplace something.
If you misplace something, you can ask them to help you find it. You can't. They won't change major things for you because they don't have the power to do that. That's not their role.
Right.
Like say a guru or a saint can change a huge part of your destiny. They can't do that, but they can help you in small day-to-day matters. That's their role.
Wow, that's so good, Guruji, that we have some help. Guruji, then why are they not mentioned in books like Bhagavad Gita or Vedas? Or is it that they are mentioned in some different form?
They are. They are not. I'm sure they are not mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita because that book doesn't deal with these things. I mean, it's not that everything in the world has to be mentioned in one book. It's not like that. So yeah, probably they are not mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita because that is a very different kind of a book. So you probably will not have a mention over there. But in the Vedas, somewhere they will be mentioned because there's nothing that exists which is not in the Vedas. So it will be mentioned. Our interpretation of it and how we are going to remove that information depends on the level of, I would say, spiritual intellect that a person develops. You see, these Vedas are encoded actually. A lot of the material in the Vedas is encoded. So you have to really know how to break the code and decode it, kind of a thing. Because everything is there.
Yes.
But if you do surface level reading or panditai reading, you may not be able to
miss it.
Yeah, because then you're doing a literal interpretation. So you just interpret the Sanskrit into a language or Sanskrit into commentary and read. But you have to go behind it, and you have to have a very evolved mind and a wisdom faculty to actually bring out the encoded messages from that.
Because the essence, to get that essence.
To get the essence of it, or what is written behind those words. That requires an enlightened mind.
Right.
And an enlightened soul. So very, very few such available who will actually interpret the Vedas. But it will be there somewhere. I mean, I don't know the reference, but it will be there, definitely.
Yes, thank you so much, Guruji. Guruji, we have a question from Gayatri Shetty, and I think this query could be a doubt for a lot of people in today's times. She says her query is about the vaccine, the coronavirus. Yes, I don't agree with it. I feel like it's like buying a boat just because someone predicted a flood. So are we planning to live in this boat forever? I'm sure a lot of people have this doubt.
Yes, have doubt, yeah. Yes. Everyone initially had doubts about the vaccine also. See, the point is that by and large this virus is a man-made virus. Now who's made it, I don't go into that because that is controversial, but it is not a natural virus that comes out of nature. It is a man-made creation. And vaccines per se are not the corona vaccine, but the other ones that have been developed have had substantial years of research and have had very good effect. See, every child is vaccinated at least with 3 or 4 vaccinations, like a polio, diphtheria,
typhoid, BCG,
something, all those vaccines that these children are given. That saves a lot of lives.
Right.
I mean, in olden times, before the vaccines came on, the mortality rate for children was very high.
Very high, yes.
Extremely high. So, like, if you survive that, then you had a future. Otherwise, you die as a child. So these vaccines have proved their efficacy and their usefulness, and therefore you cannot deny that they are useful. Now, regarding the corona vaccine, since it's a man-made virus, yes, well, it's up to you to choose whether you want to take the chance of contacting it. And it has killed a lot of people. I mean, that fact can't be ruled out. We've seen people die. I've seen people getting completely debilitated with this disease, especially when a heavy infection goes into the lungs or the heart or anything of that sort. So for all it's worth, it's like you want to be safe or sorry.
Right.
Now, maybe the vaccine may not have the efficacy that they claim. They say, okay, it's 90% effective. It may be 60% effective, 50%. But if you feel that you don't want to take a chance, you can take it. I mean, the choice is entirely yours. It's not like, okay, they're predicting a flood, so you take a boat and sit there. The flood is already there. And people are drowning. Now, the choice is whether you want to drown or you want to swim.
Right.
So, this gives you a little lifeboat, a ring to hold on to, and maybe you won't drown.
I mean, it's still a chance.
It's still a chance. Yeah, it's still a chance. Of course. I mean, there are people who've taken vaccine and died. So that's not, it's not completely ruled out. So you got to make that choice. And yes, the flood is already there. It's not that it's going to come and you're trying to preempt just because everyone else is taking. No, it's there. People are dying of it, or people are getting very badly affected by it. Some people are taking very long to recover. Some people recover in a day or two also. Right. Because it's a man-made vaccine. It's not man-made virus.
Yes.
It's doesn't have very predictable patterns.
Yes.
And nobody really is an expert or understands it. Also, they claim to be experts and they claim to be, medical. Yes, of course, they're better than person not knowing anything in medicine, but nobody really knows what's happening inside the body. Let's put it that way. Because we've got very short time to create these vaccines.
Correct.
I mean, barely did the thing come in.
And within a year, we were trying
and this vaccine research started. Normally, it takes 5 to 7 years for a vaccine to come out because they've done extensive trials and bring out a foolproof vaccine. So here we've not been able to bring out a foolproof vaccine, but that's what we have, and choice is yours. You want to swim or drown.
So it's absolutely a measured, calculated choice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Between chance.
You take
taking
the chance.
A risk.
You take that chance. You take that risk. Maybe nothing will happen to you. Your good fortune, great. Or you could get it mildly. Nothing will happen. Few days you're ill. You can get a strong attack. You could be scarred for life.
Right.
Worst case scenario, you die.
Yeah.
Nothing you can do about it.
Guruji, thank you so much. I'm sure this answers a lot of the doubts and clears.
Yeah, I'm sure. But it's a choice, and everyone has to make their own choice.
Yes.
Nobody can say this is the best. It's not like that.
Thank you, Guruji. Thank you everyone for joining in today. We hope to see you very soon in the next episode.